What's up, everybody? Welcome back, man. I got another dope video for y'all for entertainment purposes only. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and stay tuned to the end. But I'm gonna cut the talk to the minimum and get straight into the video.
What you're looking at here behind me is not an oil rig, y'all. This is an AI platform known as Dell Complex. And the reason why they have created it is because they want to push artificial intelligence to its limits. In a sense, as this being on international waters, like there's no regulations. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they can go balls to the walls with the type of technology that they create upon this.
Meet the Blue Sea Frontier Compute Cluster, a concept proposed by a company named AR Corp. The goal is a massive floating computer that can sit in international waters, move anywhere in the world, and will be used to deploy the next generation of large-scale AI models, free from government regulation. The call comes from the Biden administration's recent AI executive order and the EU's AI Act, aimed at centralizing AI control under the guise of safety. The compute cluster will be equipped with over 10,000 NVIDIA H100 GPUs per platform, cooled by using deep-sea currents and powered by both solar and steam and gas turbines. The complex will come equipped with its own nation-state military force, as well as defenses such as electronic jamming equipment, optical and thermal camouflage, and aerial surveillance. So, what's your opinion of this massive complex?
Now I want to read this for you guys. It says, this executive order features a host of information, but a few of the key points is that developers must share their safety test results with the US government, develop standards, tools, and tests to ensure AI safe, secure, and trustworthy, and protect against AI being used to develop dangerous biological material. Though Dell Complex wants to avoid these regulations, it has considered the safety of the equipment, people, and data that's aboard the BSFCCS. The ship will come with a permanent population of allied nation state military forces and boasts a suite of other defenses like electric jamming and equipment, aerial surveillance, optical and thermal camouflage, all in an attempt to offer robust threat mitigation. What is going on here, y'all? What is going on with this that they have to accompany all these safety protocols with this floating robot here? So, in my opinion, something else must be taking place if you're taking measures this extreme. Like, you can be anywhere creating anything and then messing with anyone. You know what I'm saying? At this point in time. But again, I'm bringing awareness to situations. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and follow for more videos like this, y'all.
A floating Dell complex full of AI and territory where they can basically do what they want to do? Yeah, like that's not scary. Probably how they control them UAPs.
Sarah, that system is commonly referred to as autopilot, and this recall is a massive one, impacting more than 2 million Tesla models, basically almost every single Tesla that has been built and is driven here in the United States, those built between October of 2012 and all the way up to not just a couple of months ago here in 2023. The autopilot driver alerts are inadequate, according to the federal government. This is a popular feature with many Tesla owners. It allows you to drive hands-free in certain environments. The key is you got to stay engaged. You have to be ready to take control of the vehicle at any time. And according to NHTSA, the prompts to tell drivers to pay attention are just not there, allowing drivers to misuse the system or not use it properly. Tesla agreeing to the recall, but also defending its autopilot features and technology on X yesterday. The company wrote, in the fourth quarter of 2022, we reported one crash for every 4.85 million miles driven in which drivers were using autopilot technology. It was part of a long post on X in which Tesla said, look, you look at the numbers, this is a safety feature. It enhances safety for those who use it properly, but you do have to stay engaged. Nonetheless, it will have people talking about what's going on with Tesla full self-driving. That technology that Elon Musk has touted for years, they have it in beta form. You can subscribe on a monthly basis, pay $199, and use it in test form. And that's the key here, guys. They're still testing it. There is no fully autonomous vehicle out on the roads in the United States, including Tesla, despite the fact you often hear from people saying, well, can't Teslas drive themselves? No, they cannot. They're not fully autonomous. They have driver assist systems, and they have moments where the vehicle can drive itself, but you have to stay engaged as the driver at all times, and that's what's happening with this recall for the autopilot service.
People should have seen that coming. I mean, it's still in the testing phase. Of course, there's going to be wrecks and accidents and stuff to work out the kinks. And even then, I'm pretty sure it's going to be accident.
Listen, right? It's this movie called Agora. This shit came out in 2009. The movie basically takes place in 4th century AD, and this shit is about astronomy. People listen to this shit.
The stars will not fall. Oh, really? No, because they're fixed to the lid of the chest. The lid will open in 2 halves, and then Jesus will appear. What chest are you talking about? Don't you know that the universe is a gigantic chest? Heaven is the lid on top, and the earth the ground. They haven't thought this through, that the earth is round. The earth is flat. Your head is flat. Read the scriptures. If the earth is round, why don't the people at the bottom fall off? Huh? And what about the ones on the sides? Why don't they slide off? Think about that.
Y'all know exactly what they was talking about in that movie. Saying that shit is like a chest lid. And the stars being fixed to that shit. He's talking about the firmament. And y'all niggas need to wake the fuck up!
A Michigan mom who spent a year and a half catfishing and cyberbullying her own daughter is still in prison. Hey, justice prevailed. In case you haven't heard this story before, Kendra Licari, shown right there, harassed, bullied, and stalked her daughter online for over a year and a half, pretending to be somebody else the whole time. Her daughter was getting the nastiest messages, hateful messages from a random person online. Things I will not mention here because it's that bad. And finally, the daughter convinced her mom to go to the police. And even though the mom, Kendra, tried to tell police it was a couple of teenage girls in the area who were stalking and bullying her daughter, plus her daughter's boyfriend a little bit, it turned out it was Kendra the whole time. About a year ago, Kendra got found guilty and sentenced to prison. And like I said, she's still there. You know, for me growing up, my dad was brutal, awful, mean. But even he wouldn't have cyberbullied me. He wouldn't let anybody get credit for what he did. This is the kind of modern day Christmas story that makes me think, what the fuck? Shabadoo Bushkis, Shabadoo.
What type of mom do you have to be to bully your own child?
Have you ever asked yourself if we're living in an alternate dimension or a parallel dimension of some sort? Well, maybe we are. If you remember the evil witch in the Disney movie saying, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, you're from a parallel dimension," this is evidence. Check this out.
So I need to weigh in on the Snow White Mandela effect. Now, some of us remember it as the witch or evil queen going to the mirror and saying, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" But apparently, the Mandela effect is that she always said, "Magic mirror on the wall." Now, I don't believe that to be true. I call horseshit. I know it was mirror, mirror. But I've been looking for videos that says mirror, mirror, and I can't find one. So I found this one from 9 years ago. And listen to what it says.
Okay, so I started researching the topic and, going crazy about it, and I found this video. Check this out.
What wouldst thou know, my queen?
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
I mean, what? Magic mirror on the wall? She never said mirror, mirror on the wall. I didn't find any video of her saying mirror, mirror on the wall, but I remember her saying mirror, mirror on the wall. So this woman goes on and actually shows evidence.
I heard magic mirror too.
Check this out.
Are we in a parallel universe? Right. Now, I remember it was Mirror, Mirror on the Wall because I had a book when I was a little girl. It was my favorite book in the entire world. It's a Disney book that had all of the stories, all the Disney stories written out. And I used to read this book obsessively when I was little. And I still have it. Now, I was little, like 40 years ago. So this book is 4 decades old. Watch. Treasure of Children's Classics. And 1978. Okay, that's how old this book is. 1978, people. Here is The Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Mirror, mirror on the wall. And for those thinking, oh, maybe it's a typo, wrong, because look at this. Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Hey, how many of y'all experienced the Mandela effect? Let me know some of y'all experiences in the comments.
Morbid Facts, Part 163. Dennis Rodman was once on a cruise with his girlfriend when they wanted to try something different in bed. So she suggested for Dennis to run and jump inside of her while she was laying down unclothed. This resulted in Dennis shattering his member and pouring blood all over the bed. It was the first of 3 times that he would break his pecker, since once you break it the first time, it becomes way easier to break again. In 2009, escaped spree robber Jeffrey Manchester built a secret hideout inside of a Toys R Us. He lived there for 6 months, surviving off of kid snacks and watching DVDs to pass the time. In September of 1983, Soviet military officer Stanislav Petrov received a message that the US had launched 5 nuclear missiles that were headed for Moscow. He could have launched a retaliatory strike, but refused to because his gut instinct said it was a false alarm. Turns out the computer detection system was simply malfunctioning, and he had saved the world from a nuclear war.
Everyone is starting to find out that it's illegal that you can't communicate with dolphins. But no one understands why. Peep this. It is against the law to interact with dolphins unless you're at these places. It is not to protect the dolphins, right? It's to stop you from getting connections with them. Why is that? Listen to this.
Fuck you, the dolphins. So, as Vulcans, we was living in the water? Yeah. Alright. Continue. It's about 19 galaxies. It's in a cluster. And most of those galaxies are water galaxies. This is a water galaxy. Most of all the planets in this galaxy, especially on this side, are water planets. All the planets in your solar system are water planets.
That explains why the dolphins are so smart.
They had a long journey. They in connection with the Andromedans, and they come from stars. Dolphin has the mind of a child, a kid.
Oh, okay.
So a dolphin is real intelligent, and they still remember because they mind haven't been wiped out like ours. They still remember the story of how they brought the king here, how they connected with us. You know what I'm saying? If you know how to make dolphin sounds, you go to a 5 dolphins, you start making the same sound, they'll come up there and say something to you and see if you know their language. And if you know how to speak the dolphin's language, you'll get the whole story of creation.
Basically, what he was stating is that the dolphins been here since the creation. And since they haven't been wiped out and brainwashed like us, they understand everything that happened and seen it all, bro. That's the real reason why they don't want y'all to interact with dolphins. I just seen my bro post a video about like how the dolphins was protecting the whale from having birth and everything from the sharks and shit, bro. Them niggas is woke. That's what y'all need to do. Wake up!
Man, it's something about them dolphins. I feel like they can use telepathy. It's like the longer we be around them and build a bond, the better they can communicate. And they don't want that.
Breaking news coming to you out of science. Researchers have developed a miniature biocompatible power source inspired by electric eels that can directly stimulate human nerve cells. The innovation has potential applications in drug delivery, wound healing, and biohybrid devices. Researchers from the University of Oxford have achieved a major achievement towards realizing miniature bio-integrated devices capable of directly stimulating cells. Their findings were recently published in the journal Nature. Small bio-integrated devices that can interact with and stimulate cells could have an important therapeutic application such as targeted drug delivery, promoting faster wound recovery. However, a major obstacle has been providing an efficient microscale or power source for these devices, a challenge that has remained unsolved. To address this, researchers from the University of Oxford Department of Chemistry have developed a miniature power source capable of altering the activity of cultured human nerve cells inspired by how electric eels generate electricity. The device uses internal ion gradients to generate energy. Professor Hagen Bailey, Department of Chemistry at the University of Oxford, the research group leader for this study, said, quote, "This work addresses the important question of how stimulation produced by soft, biocompatible devices can be coupled with living cells. The potential impact on devices, including biohybrid interfaces, implants, and micro robots, is substantial." End quote. Yeah, man, this just sounds like some Mark of the Beast stuff. As soon as I read this and saw this picture right there, I'm like, yeah, man, this is Mark of the Beast. Don't like it. What do you guys think? Sounds like it can release drugs. Sounds like, yeah, man, sounds like they implant it into our body. Don't like it. What do you guys think? There's all type of weird shit like this out here. Guys, if you haven't called your people today, remember, do so. Be safe and stay safe. You guys heard it here first from the Midwest Movement.
Were you guys aware that there was a cure discovered for cancer 42 years ago? Before I go further, this video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. This is Dr. Burzynski, and Dr. Burzynski apparently found a cure for cancer in 1976. Now, there is a video, and I'm going to play the video, and I'm going to read along with it. And I want you to follow along with the story and see if there's a familiarity with this story. Check this out. This cure for cancer was discovered 42 years ago, but has been suppressed several times. In 1976, Dr. Burzynski discovered a strain of peptides never seen before. He also discovered that people with cancer lack these peptides. Burzynski then started giving patients a peptide called antineoplastin. In 1986, Burzynski presented 40 cured cancer patients to the Texas Medical Board. 2 years later, the board tried to revoke his medical license. 60 patients petitioned the board for filing complaints. Sounds familiar, huh? A trial ensued and the judge found Burzynski not guilty of any crime. The FDA then took Burzynski to federal court. Dozens of cured cancer patients testified for Dr. Burzynski. Man, this sounds so familiar, y'all.
Chemotherapy. I've had no radiation. I chose Dr. Burzynski instead after a lot of research.
30 plus congressmen wrote to persuade the FDA to allow Burzynski clinical trial. The judge declared a mistrial and the FDA later dropped all remaining charges. Wow, they dropped it. The FDA then allowed Burzynski to proceed with phase 2 clinical trials. However, court cases continue to plague Dr. Burzynski for 20 more years. After many setbacks, the FDA just recently approved one of his medications. 2 other medications are currently in final approval. Wow. To support his claims, he showed Gaia recent patient results. So this is on him on Gaia right now, showing his results. This brain tumor went into remission in 4 weeks. This is 2019. These tumors in the liver disappeared after 6 months. Here's ovarian cancer that healed in 9 months, y'all. Now, what do you guys think about this story? This story sounds very familiar. This story sounds just like Dr. Sebi's story. Except the only difference is Dr. Sebi was also not found guilty, but he was still arrested and he died in prison. And then when they tried to figure out how he died, they said it was because of pneumonia. And thank you to Nate Trella for fact checking us to make sure that he did die of pneumonia. But what I find weird was this guy was also curing cancer, but he was allowed to live and continue to do his work. And then he goes on Gaia to present his medicine in order to showcase to the world. Now, the thing is, I don't trust Gaia. I talked about Gaia before, how I believe they are the ops. Now, come into consideration, this guy is still alive doing his thing. I believe this guy is working with the elites. Because if you think about it, the elites, or the elites, whatever you want to call them, the elites, those people never die of any complication. They always die of old age. So I do believe this guy may be one of the elite's doctors. He is probably one of the main ones that look up after them whenever they're on their deathbed. Because we already know for the regular people, curing cancer is not profitable at all. But them staying alive is profitable for them in order to keep making money off of you. So yeah, I just thought I should share that. That's very interesting that, there has been a cure and, nobody knows about it except for the elites. Meanwhile, you have the Cancer Foundation, twiddling their thumbs around, But let me know what you guys think about this video. Leave your comments down below.